Hello, I'm Galen Tom, Technology Specialist for Solana College. I'm here today to show you the correct operation of the mic and speaker setup at the back half of the cafeteria. First, I would like to explain the layout of how the speakers and the zones relate. Now, what are the speakers and zone relation? Well, using the schematic here, you can see we have two zones, and there's a partition on the side. Zone 1 is in front of the cafeteria. Here's where the cafeteria entrance is, and you can see we have Zone 1. Within Zone 1 there are two speakers, Speaker 1 and Speaker 2. Now there's normally a partition there, that false partition you've probably seen before. That leads to Zone 2. In Zone 2, again, there are two speakers, Speaker 3 and Speaker 4. Now, where are the relation to the layout? Well, where I am at right now, or where we are at right now, is in the PA storage where all this equipment is going to be stored that I'm going to show you how to operate. And in front of there, you have the first quarter of Zone 2, where Speaker 4 resides. And I'll explain a little bit more on how all this relates in just one moment. Now I'm going to go over the cabinet. Now, this is the entire cabinet. As you can see, that's what we were talking about earlier. I pasted or taped it there just for this demonstration, and I'm going to show you the proper way of turning the system on to prepare for use of mics. Now I'm doing this freehand, so it may be a little blurry and a little jittery. You have all this technology here. The first one is on the bottom. This is your amplifier. This is the first thing you want to turn on when you get set up. Now, as you can see here, the bottom one has an O and the top one is an I. The bottom one is to turn it off and the top one is to turn it on. I'm going to go ahead and turn it on to show you. Now, I'm not sure if you could hear this, but there's a fan, some lights have come on, and of course the power button, or power LED light, I'm sorry, is on once I push the power on. Above here you have your mics and your mixer. I recommend turning your mixer on second. So here is the power button. Again, it's just like the amplifier. 0 is to off and I is to on, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on the mixer. As you see, a little green LED power button had illuminated once I did it, so you know it's on. Next, you have your receivers for your mics. The mics inside this back half of the cafeteria are all wireless, so you have these receivers. Now, you can't really make out the lettering. I can try to focus in. This is mic 1, which is on the top, and below here is mic 2 on the bottom. I'm only going to demonstrate mic 1 for now, and you want to turn this on, otherwise it won't receive any of the mic signals. So I'm going to turn on mic 1 right here. And this is a normal power button, no switch, just a button, and you can see that the receiver is now on. Now, moving up to the mixer, we ask that you do not change any of the settings here because they already been preset. In certain circumstances, you may need to change the zone switches, which I'll point to it right here. Now, one is for mic 1 and the other is for mic 2. There's, each mic has a separate one. And the reason how you can tell the zone, like we showed earlier, is from the diagram. You have Zone 1 and Zone 2, one basically partitioning the cafeteria in half. Now, for some reason, say you were going to do a presentation in Zone 2, the entire part, so you need speakers 3 and 4. What you would need to do is make sure, and I'm trying to focus in on this switch, is that Zone 2 is on. Now, you can't really see this too well, and I'm holding a mic to pick up my voice better, but the switch that I'm focusing up here, it's switched to the bottom. That's Zone 2. In the middle is for both zones, both 1 and 2, and the top one is for solely Zone 1, and that's for mic 1 here. Mic 2 is the same concept. You have up for Zone 1, down for Zone 2, and in the middle for both. Right now it is set to both. Now, you could see we have Zone 1 and Zone 2. If you needed both zones, you would flip the switch to the middle. If you only want Zone 1 right next to the cafeteria, you would switch it to upwards to Zone 1. And of course, if you need Zone 2 only, you would switch it downwards. Above the mixer, you have your volume control. I'm going to try to get a good shot of this. And what this is here is to control the volume of your speakers. Now you have zone 1 and you have the speaker 1 and speaker 2 right there. You have zone 2, you have speaker 3 and speaker 4. Now I am in the back half of the cafeteria, the just quartered off. See, there is the wall that petitions zone 2, which I am currently in now, to zone 1. And this wall here that petitions speaker 4, which is right up there, with speaker 3 that's beyond that wall. You may notice it that sometimes students sit on that far end. And let me focus in a little bit. That's the speaker. That's speaker 4. There are 4 speakers, but we count the whole thing as one speaker, which is speaker 4. Okay? So that's where this volume comes into play. Now, because there's people in zone 1, which is in front of the cafeteria, I put that to 0 as a precaution because I don't want them to pick up my voice and embarrass me. Speaker 3, which is on the other side of that partition wall in zone 2, there's people sitting there, so I obviously put that to 0. Speaker 4 right here, I set it to 3 because it's only me and I'm recording this. I don't want to be overbearing in the volume. Now, what I recommend, I have everything on here. Start the volume down, 3, maybe 2, maybe 1, to make sure it's not too loud. But for this one, we could do speaker 3. Let me get the mic. Okay, now I have this mic stand and the the microphone and a mic stand set up. Now these microphones and mic stands should be in this cabinet, as you see right here. There's mic 2 in the mic stand. Now, how to turn on the mic. I'm going to try to move it to the bottom. There's a switch right here. It just has the names off and on, so I'm going to put it on. And you can see the red LED light where we are live. And let me go ahead and try it out. Test, test, testing. I think you could hear that. So now we are live in the mic right there. Now I got it volume 3. I could turn it up if I want on speaker 4, or if I want the people on the other side of the wall in zone 2 to hear me, I could turn this up. Or if I want people in zone 1 to hear me, I could turn these up too. Normally, in most situations, you want this to be at a 6, and you can't really make out the numbers too well, but trust me, it starts at 0 and it goes to 10. You want to go to 6, most likely. You want to test your mics out once you get your crowds in here, because people do absorb sound, and you may need to retest the volume levels on that. Now, I'm going to turn the mic off because it runs on batteries, and now I am going to set up so I could show you how to change the batteries in case that you need fresh batteries in here. Okay, so I'm set up to show you how to change the batteries. I recommend starting off with a fresh pair of batteries if you're planning on an all-day event. I've seen it where I put fresh batteries in these wireless mics. The event lasts 5 to 6 hours, and they'll pretty much drain at the end. So in order to change the batteries, you want to grasp the top and the bottom and just twist to open, just like a flashlight. There's your batteries right there. Smart cabinet inside here should have the batteries you need. Now, where's the smart cabinet? It should be somewhere in here. I have it outside. And inside there, let's see if I get a shot of it. You could see there's some batteries in there now. If you have an event, you want to make sure that you have enough batteries in there before the event. Especially on the weekend, you may want to check on Friday with Technology Services Support or the SSC if more batteries can be provided. Okay, I'm set up again because I want to present on one other thing, the mic. When you turn it on, people tend to do this to test the volume. I have it off. There's a reason why. You do this, it's thumping on the speakers, and then over time it can wear out the speakers substantially. I'm not saying that you do it once, it's going to pop the speakers or blow the speakers out, but it's not really good. The best way to find out the volume levels is to turn the volume level down and then slowly turn it up as you test the volume out. So once again, the cabinet where you control everything. Mic stand should be inside the cabinet. Should have a smart cabinet right here. Should have some batteries in it. Sometimes you may have the mics in it, so you might want to check. This schematic should be inside here. I had a hard time finding it, and it was on top of the cabinet there where there's some other information. So you may want to look around if you're ever here for an event and you're wondering where some of the instructions are. One thing I would like to go over is how to turn off the system. It's simple, similar turning it on, just backwards. Okay, let me zoom out. So all you're going to do is first I would advise turning off the mic, turning off the mixer, and then turning off the amplifier, which is right there. You can tell it's off. No lights, no fans, no lights on the mixer, the green LED lights off, and no visible lights on the mic. Again, my name is Galen Tom, Technology Specialist for Solano Community College, and this has been my presentation on how to operate the mic and speaker system in the back half of the cafeteria. If you have any additional questions or needs of support in this matter, please contact the help desk at helpdesk, one word, @solano.edu. Thank you.